Frank Energy, it's a Genesis Energy-owned gas retailer. They've announced they're going to stop supplying gas to its customers by March next year. The decision is due to the declining natural gas supply, high costs, and increased uncertainty about gas availability in New Zealand. As the sector faces challenges like rising prices and fewer customers, the move is part of Frank's strategy to focus solely on electricity. Customers will be transferred to Genesis, which will offer them similar rates with the option to change providers without penalties. Consumer New Zealand have raised concerns that New Zealand's residential gas sector is in a death spiral. Households connected to gas now face increased costs. Some say they're paying around $700 more annually. Marketing expert Bodo from Massey University has emphasised such decisions might negatively affect consumer perceptions, limiting choice and possibly generating dissatisfaction amongst customers. And he joins me now. Bodo, great to have you back on the show.
Hi, Leah. Thanks for having me.
Now, firstly, you are a Frank customer, aren't you?
I am indeed. So I received one of their emails and I was disappointed, a little bit shocked to see that this was happening. And then, immediately my more academic mind sprang to work and I sort of analyzed the text that they had included in the email. But yeah, I was really surprised to hear this because Frank Energy only started up about 2 years ago in 2022. Yeah. So it seems like a really sudden and early kind of reversal of, going onto the market, offering both products, energy, electricity and gas, and now ditching one of them, basically.
You say that their decision, might have negative effects on consumer perception, but you also think that Frank Energy took some positive steps as well. What were they?
So they did a number of things. So the first thing what they did is they used a bit of humor. They used this great little line. They said, "It's not you, it's us." And everybody's been in a situation like this, and so it's really useful to use humor in marketing. And this is kind of like a little breakup, if you have both accounts with them, electricity and gas. And so they're joking about it. That lightens the mood a bit. And so you're a little bit more receptive to the messages that come after it. And so the other things they did is they said, look, we're really sorry about this. They apologized. They were empathetic. They said, look, we know this is inconvenient and it's causing you probably a bit of time search and all this sort of stuff. The third thing they did was they recommended that people use an independent, credible website, which is Power Switch by Consumer New Zealand, to find who is the best provider for whatever needs you might have. So it wasn't, like a profit motive there to push people towards a certain provider. Then for people who somehow didn't get around to doing any of this, they said, look, we will switch you over automatically. I think 1st of March is the deadline, 2025, so many months from now. And you will go on to a Genesis account. So they did a lot of little things and message framing to lessen the blow, so to speak.
I like that. It's not you, it's me line. I think humour does work. What was the next line? We're seeing electricity instead, or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. No.
Yeah. I think that's clever because, if you're going to give people bad news, I don't know, I suppose let them down a little bit gently. Do you believe, Bodo, more energy companies are going to follow Frank's example and shift away from gas? And when they do, what would be your advice to keep customers as happy with the decision as possible?
Good question. So I think absolutely more companies will follow, or companies who remain in the gas market will probably have to increase their prices, and so the fixed charge, so just having the privilege of having gas delivered to your house without using any of it is about $1.90 a day. So that's about $700 a year just for having it, possibly using it. So I think some customers will just not use gas anymore, or maybe go to gas cylinders or something else. But more companies will follow, particularly companies that want to be really lean and mean and want to be simple in their systems and want to offer just one type of product, i.e. electricity, and do that at the best rate that they can. And so I think we will see more companies doing this. And that's sort of it's not great for consumers either, because of course that means that they can then not choose those providers, because they will say, look, a gas supplier will say, look, you have to have both gas and electricity with us to have gas at all, and so you can't go with those super cheap providers. So, second part of your question, what can companies do? I think, follow in Frank's footsteps, so to speak. The key really is to empathize with consumers and to think about, well, how would I feel if I received this? And, there's a lot of research about how people react very negatively towards having their choices restricted. And that might be your favorite vanilla ice cream out of stock, or a supplier saying, look, we're not making this type of biscuit anymore, or a consumer choosing the last packet of your favorite crisps in the supermarket. You get this thing called reactance. And so the key really is to reduce reactance as much as you can. And that you do that by giving them other choices, making the process easy. I think a lot of things that Frank Energy did were really, really good, and they helped to reduce consumer reactance.
So for you, Bodo, personally, what now for you? You are with Frank, so no more gas next year. Is that going to affect? Have you got a lot of appliances on gas heating? What have you got?
We've got a fireplace that's gas, so that's problematic because it's an expensive thing to have. And if you don't want to use gas anymore, well, you basically have a dead appliance in the wall. So that's not so good. We also have some gas cooking in the house. So my first step, I'm quite a rational, extremely boring person, so I will definitely go into Power Switch and probably do a PhD thesis, in the process, and research where I can get the best deal for electricity and gas. And I think that's what people need to do, when they get notices like this, do independent research and use Power Switch. And I think it's a really good way of getting the process started.